Welcome back to Top Liberty Coins. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2007 Roosevelt dime, a coin that many overlook but collectors are starting to watch very closely. The Roosevelt dime itself has been part of American history since 1946, created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a leader remembered for guiding the United States through some of its most difficult times. His portrait appears on the front of the coin, calm and dignified, with the word Liberty boldly placed along the edge. That word alone represents more than design, it represents the identity of the nation and gives the coin a timeless significance. Now let's focus on the 2007 dime. The letter D on the coin indicates that it was minted in Denver, one of the major United States mint facilities. In 2007, millions of dimes were produced, meaning most of them are still very common today. At face value, they are worth just 10 cents. But here's where things start to get interesting. Not all coins are created equal, even if they were made in the same year and at the same mint. Some coins slip through the minting process with small differences, tiny imperfections, or unique features that collectors call errors or varieties. These small details can turn an everyday coin into something much more valuable. When people talk about a 2007 dime being worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, they are not talking about every coin. They are talking about extremely rare cases. For example, a coin in perfect condition, graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, can command a premium price. These coins are described as uncirculated or mint state, meaning they have never been used in daily transactions and still have their original shine and detail. Even more valuable are coins with minting errors. These could include off-center strikes, double dies where the design appears duplicated, missing elements, or unusual metal compositions. A rare error coin can sometimes sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how unique and visible the error is. There have been claims and listings online suggesting values like $787.9766 or even higher for certain rare dimes. While those numbers may sound exciting, it is very important to understand that such values usually apply only to very specific, rare examples. The average 2007 dime found in your pocket is still worth just 10 cents. The key is knowing what to look for. Collectors pay close attention to details such as the sharpness of Roosevelt's hair, the clarity of the torch on the back of the coin, and the overall condition. The reverse side of the dime features a torch, representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch representing strength. These symbols together tell a powerful story about the values of the nation. Another factor that affects value is grading. Coins are graded on a scale from poor condition all the way up to perfect mint state. A coin graded MS67 or higher is considered extremely high quality. At those levels, even modern coins like the 2007 dime can become desirable among collectors. History also plays a role in interest. Even though 2007 may not seem like a long time ago, every coin is a snapshot of its era. It reflects the technology, the economy, and the craftsmanship of that time. Over the years, as coins are lost, damaged, or removed from circulation, high-quality examples become harder to find. So how can you tell if you might have a valuable 2007 dime? Start by examining it closely under good lighting. Look for unusual features, errors, or anything that seems different from a normal coin. Check the edges, the lettering, and the overall design. If the coin looks exceptionally clean and sharp, it might be worth having it evaluated by a professional. Coin collecting is not just about money. It is about discovery, history, and the thrill of finding something special in an unexpected place. That's what makes coins like the 2007 dime so exciting. Even though most are common, the possibility that one could be rare keeps collectors searching. Imagine going through your pocket change and finding a coin that others ignored, only to discover it could be worth far more than its face value. That moment of realization is what drives collectors around the world. If you enjoyed learning about this coin and want to explore more hidden treasures in everyday currency, make sure to stay connected with the channel Coins. There are countless coins out there with stories waiting to be discovered, and you never know which one might turn out to be your lucky find. Keep checking your coins, keep learning, and remember that even the smallest piece of metal can hold a big surprise. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in everyday circulation, the 2016 P. Roosevelt dime, a coin that millions overlook but collectors are quietly searching for. First, let's talk about what this coin actually is. The 2016 P dime was minted in Philadelphia, one of the most famous minting locations in the world, known for producing coins since the early days of the United States. The P mint mark tells us it came from Philadelphia, and that detail alone is important because mint marks play a huge role in determining rarity and value. Now look closely at the front of this coin. You will see the familiar face of Franklin D. Roosevelt, one of the most influential presidents in American history. His portrait has been on the dime since 1946, shortly after his passing, as a tribute to his leadership and his role in founding the March of Dimes campaign. Above his head, you will see the word Liberty, a powerful symbol that has been part of American coinage for generations. This is why collectors often call it the Liberty coin, even though technically it is known as the Roosevelt dime. Now let's turn the coin over. On the back, you will find a torch in the center, symbolizing freedom, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. These designs are not random. Every detail has meaning, and that meaning adds to the historical importance of the coin. At first glance, the 2016 P dime might seem extremely common. And in many ways, it is. Millions were produced, and most are only worth their face value of 10 cents. But here is where things get exciting. Certain versions of this coin, especially those with errors or in perfect condition, can be worth far more than you might expect. Collectors are always hunting for coins in what is called mint state condition. This means the coin looks almost exactly as it did when it was first made, with no scratches, no wear, and strong, sharp details. A 2016 P dime in top condition, graded MS67 or higher, can sell for a surprisingly high price compared to its face value, but the real thrill comes from error coins. Imagine finding a 2016 P dime with a misprint, a double strike, or an off-center design. These mistakes happen during the minting process and are incredibly rare. When they do appear, collectors are willing to pay serious money to own them. There have been claims and rumors online suggesting extremely high values, even numbers like $787.9765 or more. While those exact figures are not typical for standard 2016 P dimes, certain rare error examples or exceptionally graded coins could reach significant values in auctions. This is why it is always important to carefully check your coins instead of spending them without a second thought. Let's take a step back and explore the history behind the dime itself. The dime has been part of American currency since the late 18th century. Early dimes were made of silver, and over time the composition changed. Today's dimes, including the 2016 P, are made of a copper core with a nickel coating. Even though they no longer contain silver, their design and legacy continue to connect modern coins with the past. The Roosevelt dime replaced the Mercury dime, which is still one of the most beloved coins among collectors. But the Roosevelt design has stood the test of time, remaining in use for decades with only minor changes. This consistency makes it easier for collectors to spot unusual variations or errors. Now here is something most people never realize. Coins like the 2016 P dime are still out there in circulation right now. They could be in your pocket, your wallet, or even lying forgotten in a drawer. And while most will only ever be worth 10 cents, the possibility of finding something rare is what keeps collectors searching every day. So how do you know if your dime is valuable? Start by checking the year and the mint mark. Look closely for any unusual features such as doubled letters, missing details, or off-center strikes. Pay attention to the condition. A shiny, clean coin with sharp edges is always more valuable than a worn one. If you think you have found something special, the next step is to have it professionally graded. Grading companies evaluate coins based on their condition and authenticity, and their certification can significantly increase a coin's value in the market. Another important factor is demand. The coin market is always changing. What might not be valuable today could become highly sought after in the future. This is why collectors often hold on to coins for years, waiting for the right moment to sell. the story of the 2016 P-Dime is not just about money. It is about history, art, and the thrill of discovery. It is about turning everyday objects into something extraordinary. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story can be worth far more than its face value. Now imagine building your own collection. Starting with something as simple as a dime, you could begin a journey into the world of coin collecting, learning about different years, mint marks, and rare variations. Over time, that small collection could grow into something truly valuable, and here is the most exciting part. Anyone can start. You do not need expensive equipment or special connections. All you need is curiosity, patience, and a willingness to look closely at the coins you already have. So the next time you receive change, do not just toss it aside. Take a moment to examine each coin. That small, ordinary dime could be hiding something extraordinary. It could be a rare error, a high-grade specimen, or simply a beautiful piece of history waiting to be appreciated. This is the world of coin collecting, where even the smallest coin can hold big secrets. And who knows, the next valuable discovery could be in your hands right now. Today we're diving deep into a coin that most people ignore every single day, yet it quietly holds a world of history, mystery, and in rare cases, incredible value. I'm talking about the one-dime coin, especially the 2021 P-Dime, a coin that may look ordinary but has stories hidden in every tiny detail. Imagine holding a coin so small, so lightweight, that you barely think twice before spending it. Yet that same coin could carry decades of history, design evolution, and even the possibility of being worth far more than its face value. The one-dime coin, often overlooked, is actually one of the most fascinating pieces in modern coin collecting. Let's begin with what makes the dime so special. The dime is one of the smallest coins in circulation, but its design is powerful and symbolic. On the front side, you'll find the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. This design has been used since 1946, created to honor his leadership and his role in helping fight polio, which led to the creation of the March of Dimes movement. The word liberty appears boldly on the coin, representing freedom and strength, while the year of minting tells you exactly when that piece of history was created. Now let's focus on the 2021 P-Dime. The letter P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most important coin-producing facilities. Millions of these dimes were minted in 2021, which means most of them are only worth 10 cents. But here's where things get interesting. Not all coins are created equal. Even if they look identical at first glance, collectors are always searching for rare variations, minting errors, and coins in perfect condition. A regular 2021 P-Dime might not be worth more than face value, but if you find one in pristine uncirculated condition, or even better, with a rare mint error, its value can increase significantly. Some collectors pay strong premiums for coins that show unique characteristics like double dies, off-center strikes, or missing design elements. The idea that a small coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more comes from the rarity and demand. When a coin becomes rare due to an error or limited survival in high-grade condition, collectors compete to own it. That competition drives prices up. Now let's talk about value, because this is where many people get excited. While a standard 2021 P-Dime is typically worth its face value, certain high-grade examples graded by professional services can sell for several dollars or more. Rare error versions can go much higher depending on how unusual and well-preserved they are. Stories circulate in the coin world about rare dimes and other coins reaching astonishing prices, sometimes into thousands or even higher for extremely rare cases across history. When you see numbers like $787.9764 being mentioned, it reflects how specific coin sales can vary based on grading, condition, and collector demand. Coin values are not fixed, they move with the market, collector interest, and rarity. One coin might sell for a few cents, while another nearly identical one could sell for hundreds. The history of the dime itself goes much deeper. The United States has produced many different dime designs over the years. Before Roosevelt, there were other iconic designs like the Mercury dime, which is still highly sought after by collectors today. Each era of dime production reflects a piece of American history, from wars to economic changes and artistic trends. The modern Roosevelt dime, including the 2021 P version, is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. It no longer contains silver, which was removed from circulating coins after 1964. This change marked a significant moment in coin history, as older silver dimes suddenly became more valuable due to their metal content alone, but even without silver, modern dimes still hold collectible value. Condition is everything. Coins that have never been circulated, known as mint state coins, are graded on a scale that can dramatically affect their price. A small difference in grade can mean a big difference in value. So how can you tell if your 2021 P dime is special? Start by examining it closely. Look at the details of Roosevelt's face, the sharpness of the lettering, and the edges of the coin. Check for anything unusual, like doubling in the text or design, misalignment, or missing features. Even a small error can make a coin desirable to collectors. Another important factor is preservation. Coins that are scratched, worn, or damaged lose value, while those that are clean and untouched can become more valuable over time. Many collectors store their coins in protective holders to keep them in perfect condition. Now imagine going through your pocket change and discovering a coin that others have overlooked. That's the thrill of coin collecting. It's not just about money, it's about discovery, history, and the excitement of finding something rare in the most ordinary places. The 2021 P dime reminds us that even in today's modern world, there are still treasures waiting to be found. You don't need to be a professional collector to start. All you need is curiosity and a willingness to look closer at the coins you already have. As you continue your journey in coin collecting, remember that knowledge is your greatest tool. The more you learn about mint marks, errors, grading, and history, the better your chances of identifying valuable coins. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story can be worth much more than its face value. So next time you receive a dime, don't just spend it without a second thought. Take a moment to examine it. That small piece of metal could be a link to history, a collector's prize, or even a hidden gem worth far more than 10 cents. Stay curious, keep searching, and never underestimate the power of small coins. This is Coins, where every coin has a story, and every story could be worth a fortune. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the one-dime coin, especially the 2023 P dime, and how a tiny piece of metal could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Stay with me because what you are about to learn might make you check your own pocket change right after this. The one-dime coin, commonly known as the dime, has been part of everyday life for generations. It is small, lightweight, and often overlooked. Most people treat it as just 10 cents, something to spend without thinking. But hidden within this simple coin is a rich history, rare variations, minting secrets, and in some cases, unbelievable market values that can reach thousands or even more depending on condition and rarity. Let's start with the modern era. The 2023 P dime, minted in Philadelphia, represents the continuation of a long legacy. At first glance, it looks just like any other dime you have seen. It features the familiar portrait of Liberty, modernized into the image most collectors recognize today. The word Liberty appears clearly, symbolizing freedom and strength, while the date 2023 confirms its place in the current minting year. The small P mint mark tells us it was produced in Philadelphia, one of the most important minting facilities. Now here is where things get interesting. While millions of 2023 P dimes were produced, not all coins are equal. The majority are only worth face value, just 10 cents. But certain factors can dramatically increase their value. Condition is the first and most important. A coin that is perfectly preserved, with no scratches, no wear, and full original shine can be worth much more to collectors. These are often graded as mint state coins, and the higher the grade, the higher the price, but condition alone is not the whole story. Errors and rare variations are where real excitement begins. Sometimes during the minting process, small mistakes happen. These can include off-center strikes, double dies, missing elements, or unusual metal composition. When such errors occur, they create unique coins that collectors are willing to pay serious money for. A rare error on a 2023 P dime could turn a simple coin into something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. there is also the matter of demand. Coin collecting is a global hobby, and certain coins become highly desirable due to trends, historical significance, or scarcity. When demand rises and supply remains limited, prices can skyrocket. This is how ordinary coins sometimes reach extraordinary values. Now let's talk about the number that caught your attention, a value like $787.9763. While this exact figure may seem unusual, it represents a broader truth in the coin market. Prices are constantly changing. They fluctuate based on auctions, collector interest, grading results, and overall market conditions. A coin that sells for one price today might sell for much more tomorrow if the right buyer appears. To understand why some dimes are worth so much, we need to go back in history. The dime has evolved over time, from early silver compositions to modern clad versions. Older dimes, especially those made before 1965, contain real silver. These coins already have intrinsic value because of their metal content. But beyond that, certain historical dimes are incredibly rare. Limited mintages, historical events, and production challenges all contributed to creating coins that are now highly sought after. Even in modern times, rarity can still happen. Special mint sets, proof coins, and low mintage releases can create future collectibles. A 2023 P dime might seem ordinary today, but in perfect condition or with a unique error, it could become a prized item in the future. Another important factor is grading. Professional grading services examine coins carefully and assign them a grade based on condition. This grade can significantly impact value. A small difference in grade can mean a big difference in price. For example, a coin graded at a near-perfect level could be worth many times more than the same coin in average condition. Collectors also pay attention to details that most people ignore. The sharpness of the design, the clarity of the lettering, the brightness of the surface, and even the tiniest imperfections can all influence value. This is why two coins that look similar to the untrained eye can have very different prices. Now imagine this. You receive change from a store, and among the coins is a 2023 P dime. You might not think twice about it. But what if that coin has a rare minting error or is in perfect uncirculated condition? What if it is part of a limited batch that collectors are actively searching for? That simple coin could be worth far more than 10 cents. This is the beauty of coin collecting. It turns everyday objects into treasures. It encourages you to look closer, to pay attention, and to appreciate the history and craftsmanship behind each coin. Every dime has a story, from the moment it was minted to the journey it takes through countless hands. As the market continues to evolve, more people are discovering the hidden value in coins. Online auctions, collector communities, and global marketplaces have made it easier than ever to buy and sell coins. This increased visibility has also driven prices higher for rare and desirable pieces. So what should you do if you want to get involved? Start by checking your own coins. Look at the dates, the mint marks, and the condition. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. Learn about common errors and what to watch for. The more you know, the better your chances of finding something valuable. Keep in mind that not every coin will be worth a fortune. But all it takes is one rare find to change everything. That is what makes this hobby so exciting. It is like a treasure hunt where the prize could be hiding in plain sight. The 2023 P dime is a perfect example of how modern coins can still hold potential. While most will remain at face value, a select few could become highly valuable over time. Whether it is due to condition, error, or demand, these coins remind us that value is not always obvious. As we wrap up, remember this. Never underestimate the coins in your pocket. What seems small and insignificant today could be a collector's dream tomorrow. Stay curious, keep searching, and always pay attention to the details. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of dimes and hidden coin value, make sure to stay connected with coins for more amazing discoveries, rare finds, and secrets of the coin world that most people never notice.